What's up, everybody? Welcome to Renovation Diaries, episode number 7. This is the 7th week in a row, Catherine, that we are doing these. And essentially what we do here is we're going to talk about just our renovation journey as we're doing this stuff. And that sounds so corny.
Hey, do you realize last episode I said renovating our minds?
I saw that. That sounds so corny. As I'm saying it out of my mouth, it just sounds so corny.
So bad. Sorry, I'm over here looking like a lumberjack.
All right, so we're renovating we're just basically what we wanted to do is do a weekly, not a podcast that we are
a weekly diary journal.
Yes.
Of us renovating our house or our
And as we're kind of diving into this more, there's all these questions that kind of come up and arise, and I feel like we have an opinion to give on those.
A valuable opinion.
But you know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't want to say we're an authority on it, but we're living it, and we definitely have a
definitely have some good experience.
Yeah, like we have our own business. You know what I'm saying? And I just I don't feel like there's a podcast out there, any construction type of podcast is just people. At least the ones that I've listened, and honestly, I won't say I listen to a lot of them because there's really not a lot that have intrigued me that much. And they're very educational, and I don't think that's what this is. I think this is more of hey, if you're driving in your car right now,
just chatting,
and you just want to listen to us why with our animals.
They just
our cat is just go over there, just pick him up. He's gonna knock over our lights.
He's just happy to be here.
Jeez. All right, so today we're going to give you an update on our current basement project and where we're at with that. And then what we're also going to do is talk about work-life balance.
Yeah, Misha's really good at that.
It's one of the topics that we had come up on our future trades, and that's kind of where we're pulling some of these topics is people in that group kind of present them. And this was one of the ones that was hitting a lot of comments. I was getting 70 to 80 comments on there. And I was going to type something up on there and I was like, you know what? Let me save it for this because I have something to say about that.
I'm sure you do.
But first, how about we update them on what we did last week here in our basement.
In our basement, truthfully, we did nothing.
But swear to God, I came down here twice just to look. But
we had a lot going on. We did do stuff. We were pretty productive. In other categories of our life. We were at the studio a lot. We have a studio. I don't know how many people know that. But we have a studio, so we were there a lot doing some stuff. Our kids were home, so it was their break, so we were working with that. We just got back from covering, so we were kind of playing catch up with other things.
Yeah.
We didn't really but we were okay with it. We had a plan. We both agreed that not much was going to get done in the basement because we had other priorities.
Yeah. So. We are working on a top secret project that I've been working on. We've been working on probably for the last 5 close to 6 months at this point, and it's launching next week. And it's just the amount of work that's been put into it is kind of absurd and awesome. And it's something. It's going to be so cool. And next episode we're going to talk all about it and kind of the vision for it, whatever's going to happen and all that stuff. But it's consuming daily phone calls to figure it's just a lot right now.
It's really good work-life balance.
Yeah, I mean, but this is literally work-life balance is I have my
let's hear your opinion on.
You want me to go first?
Yeah. Let's hear what your thought is on what work-life balance is, or the best work-life balance, or what.
I guess the best way for me to summarize my personal work-life balance is balancing expectations and communication. Because if we're on the same page of, hey, here's why I'm not going to be present a lot this whole week, it makes sense. And then also managing expectations. Hey, this week we're not getting anything done in this basement. And if we're on the same page with that and we're fine with that, everything is fine. I think, to me, work-life balance is being at peace in my mind and being not stressed out. that's where the off balance for me personally is where I'm stressed and I'm like overwhelmed and like I feel anxiety. It's not working my ass off. I love working. So for me, like going on a 7-day or a 12-day vacation would be torture.
I know Misha and I don't take many vacations, and not to be sidetracked, but part of it is because when we do, even for something like coverings, we both kind of start to get anxious that we're not being as productive. We also really like our jobs, so I think that's what helps. Is like we get anxious because we want to get back to it.
I agree. So it's kind of communication with you and your partner, like and the expectations, and then everything else works out. I mean, there's going to be weeks where you throttle forward and you got to push some things, but then you just have to balance it out, I guess, by throttling backwards. And then like, hey, last week we didn't spend too much time with the kids.
Backwards. I think it's just a different throttle.
Shifting down, whatever. You shift it up, shift it down, right? We all drive manual.
Some people don't nowadays.
But so it's kind of that. So it's like, all right, this week, last week we really didn't spend a lot of time with the kids. Let's do something cool with them.
True. Yes.
And that's what's really, I guess, when it comes to self-employed people, it's so funny. And you can talk about this a little bit more. A lot of times people are like, hey, I work for myself. I set my own hours.
Which they do, but yes, that is for some reason I'm super passionate about this because we know a lot of people that say like, I work for myself and have the entrepreneur mindset, but like a lot of people what they don't get, or maybe don't you touch me, maybe that's why they struggle with I can hear myself so loud, like I don't want to hear myself this loud.
Hold on. See, that's too much.
I'm good right here. Look in my little, what is this, your elbow?
No, I'm into it.
Yeah, you should be. Anywho,
but now you're talking away from it. Somebody was there was a comment there was a comment saying like, what's up with Catherine's audio?
I read all the comments right now because they're all very nice. There wasn't. Anyways, what was I saying?
Work-life balance, and then people.
It bothers me to like, I don't know why, when people clock in and clock out like the stereotypical work week of 8 to 4, 9 to 5 kind of thing. 5 o'clock's here on Friday, I'm done. Like, and something that I think a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs or then struggle with success is like, you might be working on a Sunday. Like, you might be working Christmas Eve. Misha has worked Christmas Eve. You might be working on 4th of July. Everyone's out having barbecues. It's just like I think it's one, expectations, and also it's the work-life balance of understanding like there's certain deadlines you have to meet.
Yeah.
And it might be on a day that other people are doing stuff and you might have some serious FOMO.
Well, that's what's crazy with like being self-employed is that you have a job of pushing the project along and you have to be there on the job, do the things you got to do, whatever. But then when you get home, I'm thankful.
Oh, Oppie.
I'm thankful that I have Catherine at least to do all the emails, to do the communication with homeowners, all that stuff. So for me, like honestly, when I get home, like that's kind of when the social media kind of side of it takes over, and I have to edit videos and do all that other stuff. But in terms of like the construction side of it, like I felt okay because I had you. But for people who don't have a partner and like you have to come home and do estimates and do proposals.
That's true.
Emails, all that stuff. That's when you're supposed to be doing it. After you did your job, after you've been there for hours, you come home and now you got to do all that stuff, and that's extremely overwhelming.
I think we've heard from some people that they find a day during the week, that one day where that is like designated to that, which I think makes the most sense because everyone like that's the other thing is like something you're not very good at is like everyone.
Don't you dare.
Everyone deserves a break. And sometimes, like, you can have two extremes. You can have the extreme where it's like you're constantly, cutting yourself slack or making every excuse in the book, or the one that like pushes it too hard, and then it's like your body will tell you need a break, kind of thing.
I mean, I feel like I work on like me myself. I feel like I work on like a 10-day cycle. Well, basically, I go for 10 days, and then I burn out, and then I have a day where it's like
reset.
Yo, this sucks, like, and I'm just like it's that reset, but I'm like down, but then I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah,
and
you
then
don't need a lot of
days.
sleep though. Like, I think there's like, it's interesting. Like, you need like what, a solid 5-6.
6 hours. If I can bang out 6 hours of sleep.
If I don't have like 7, 8, maybe even 9, like.
You don't sleep 9 hours.
I wish I did.
Yeah, you wish you did, but you don't.
But ideally sleep 7-8 hours, and if I don't.
No, 7 hours seems legit, but. For me, it's like 6.5. I think I'm good with that. And let me tell you, I guess, a story that what?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead with your story. I'm curious.
It's a story when my whole quote unquote work-life balance kicked in. I remember it was like the Christmas Eve stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And it was before our second son was even born. It was with our first kid, and we were just grinding. We were trying so everything, and so overwhelming. We had like 3 to 4 jobs open. Yeah, we had like three to 4 jobs open, and I'm just running around everywhere. It's snowing outside. Literally like Christmas Eve or like day before Christmas or 2 days before Christmas.
It was Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. I'm driving around. My car gets spun out like on the road, and I literally have like a mental breakdown. Like for like 5 minutes, I just like break down. I like scream in the car a little bit, and then like I end up like tearing up, and then crying, tearing up. And it was one of these things where it's like, what the actual fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I have a child at home. I have a wife, and then here I am, like literally putting my life on the line just to make people happy that are not my family, that are not. I don't owe them anything so important to put my life on the line to do this type of stuff. Or your
mental health kind of thing.
Mental health was a huge thing because like basically working like 12 to 14 hours a day. At that point, we were just trying to grind so hard and not seeing our kid, like just the family itself. So literally after Christmas, like the next day after Christmas and stuff, we went to I remember I went to all of the clients and I said 4 jobs. It was 4 jobs open, and I went like, look, I bit off way more than I could chew. I'm not going to be able to work on your project for the next 2 to 3 weeks. I have to finish off the first, I was just 100% honest from start to finish on what was happening in my life and how extremely overwhelmed I was. And then, obviously you say like, it's going to affect your work. Like, the project that I put into it, because I feel like I'm rushing and it's just not working out. We can either stop right here and then, settle the invoice however it needs to be settled, or I need a 2 to 3 week break so I can close up all my loose ends. So out of all those 4 people, one of them was an asshole, and they were like, "Wow, like why are we getting?"
But they still wanted us to finish.
Yeah, of course, because like they're not gonna find somebody else. Yeah. But they were not like sympathetic, if you know what I'm saying. Because like other people, like literally 3 of the other 4 were like, if you need, like, this is just a bathroom, whatever, like, if you need to take a month, take your month, like, this, it's your mental health, whatever. Where the other people were like, the one other client were like, well, when are you going to finish it?
It's the kitchen backsplash.
Huh? No, actually, no, it was
the kitchen backsplash.
No, it was the California people with their bathroom.
Yes.
The kitchen backsplash, she was like, it's fine.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's fine. She was like the nicest person. It was the people from California.
Calm down. We're not trying to.
We're not dropping names, but we're dropping where they were from. They were just so entitled, and it was one of these things where it was just like,
entitled.
It was like, all right,
nothing
Alec,
was. But it was interesting because there was. When you live in New Hampshire and where we live, you start to do projects in houses. Like we're doing a bathroom, and then we have a good friend of ours, doing like the stairs or carpentry work. Like so, you get to know, like you're all doing the same job. But it felt better for me to know that like they weren't just doing that to us; they were doing it to them too. You know what I mean? But anyways,
yeah.
So I'm glad you said that because like with work-life balance, I think it's expectations, like you said, but also honesty. Which means honest to yourself and honest to once after that, I remember that was like a turning point for us. And ever since then, we were extremely honest with our clients from day one. Like, yes, this is going to take us over a month. And then like on days like when they were like, oh, what's happening today? We're like, we're not going to be there. We have other stuff. Like we were just completely honest. Yeah. And ever since then, I think it was like,
oh my God.
I remember so much easier
in that period, I had my tools. This is freaking throwback, right? This was like what, 3 years ago? 4 years ago.
4 years ago, probably.
4 years ago. This was before all
I wasn't even pregnant.
So this was.
I'm just saying, Levis 3.
Yeah. So this was 4 years ago, and it got to a point where like I had a bunch of my tools at one job, and like now I have tools all over the place. So I had my miter saw at one job, but I haven't been there in like 3 days.
Oh my God!
But I needed a miter saw for another job.
How do you get it? How do you pick it up?
So mental, like I can't just show up. Hey, can I just get my stuff and leave? I couldn't do that. So what I did is I went to Home Depot and I bought a cheap miter saw just so I could do the other project.
Yeah. Or
that's how bad it was.
Or we come up with an extensive like runaround to get it. Like, which was like so stressful.
Oh my God, you know, like
why?
Popped tire, blah, blah, blah.
Like, why?
Like, and it's, yeah.
The minute we stopped doing, like, whatever that was, that runaround or that constant chasing tail kind of thing, like, I have to keep hustling, I have to keep saying yes to everything. Because after that, like, even projects we've said no to and been like, it's not going to fit our schedule. Instead of saying, oh, yes, we can squeeze you in kind of thing.
Yeah. And then even, like, starting projects, and the reason this would, I almost feel like we got into it. One is like we're trying to like get money going, but on the other side it's like we told the clients we would start on 2 weeks from now.
Oh
like,
yes,
we would say like we'd start 2 weeks from now. A week and a half goes by, and then they're like, "Hey, so you're starting on Wednesday?" And we'll be like, "Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are." Even though we're not even
this is like I remember when I really started to like take over the schedule, which made it easier because for a while it was like
this was all my fault. Are you dropping this at my feet right now?
I'm not saying it's all your fault. I'm not, but I'm saying this is when we like.
You were the one that was like, Misha, Wednesday we have to start the other project.
Yeah, no. I remember there was times where I was like that. 100%.
I'm not done.
100% there was times where I was like that. But I'm saying I think this is like again part of our turning point where like we gave each other more defined roles. Like, you're in charge of this. Because before that, it was both of us trying to do the schedule. You had your schedule in your head, I had mine, and then we were trying to, like, smush them together.
Yeah. And I think,
know what I mean?
But what was nice now, at least, is like, Catherine, I'm not done. Like, they're like,
well, also,
like right now, because you'll say, like, we have to start there next week, and I'll be like, I'm not going to be there.
I don't even think we do that. Like, nowadays,
so now
we just, like,
those
we have, like, 2 weeks. I've had very uncomfortable conversations. But like, nowadays, we've gotten so much better about giving a grace period between projects.
Yeah. And again, it goes back down to having your honesty with the homeowner, where it's like, I can be there tomorrow and I can absolutely demo your bathroom, but then I won't be back for a week. Is that something that you want to do? And they'll say no. Like, okay, let's not rush it. You know, they'll always say that.
Well, and then we started to run with that as our like, what people got us is like, we do one job at a time, and they liked that, and they were willing to wait for it, which was fine. Like, it worked.
And then you have the classic, it's literally the phrase right here. It's like, look, their job is not done, and I want to treat that project with the same respect that I'm going to treat your project when we're at the end of your job.
Why are you giving away all the secrets?
Huh? This is not secrets.
You're saying it like it's something like you're like, that was the truth, though. That's how you felt.
But people, it's hard. You have to be an evil person to then be like, screw those people. You come over here. You know what I'm saying?
You fix my toilet.
Because then it's going to be the exact same thing. Because now if you want, if
they'll know you'll, yeah.
Because if the homeowner wants you to treat them like that, then it's like, okay, then you can treat me like that as well.
Like, my time will come.
Yeah, because we all get to that point where it's like, hey, we're gonna go, we're gonna be starting a new job. Like, there's a couple touch-ups here. So I guess we're saying honesty with
expectations
the clients,
and honesty. I think
expectations with the clients and
with
yourself.
Yeah, it's like it's with everything in life. Like, oh, I have to work out, I have to eat healthy. You know, it's like everything in moderation. Like, it's the same work-life balance. Like, it's always an adjustment. You get a new puppy, you have a baby. Like, there's some adjustments. You move, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like.
So then, would you agree that work-life balance is that it's just balance in your head, not time? Like, as long as you're mentally are okay and you don't feel stressed and overwhelmed and anxious.
Yeah,
and you're okay to be in that mindset, but you're working 14 hours a day.
Some people like that, but
go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's also like your situation. If you're a single, like, no spouse, no kids or whatever, like, that long, like, work day, like, makes sense. Like, that's the time maybe to hustle in that way.
And then, I mean, let me also be very clear that if you're trying to do something and you're trying to be successful in something, you're going to have to work your ass off.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought this up, because I am like a total, I don't do this very well, but I'd love to do this more well, is like that whole concept of like, you have to hustle and stay up late and like work your ass off, like, I don't think is true. In this sense, that like, if you wake up at like between 6 and 8 o'clock, right? And then the hours you're awake, you're super
productive
and like intentional and focused. Like that's all you need. You don't need to be like, oh, I only slept 4 hours last night, I'm hustling. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like and I notice that too, like on the days that I'm like from like 9 to 2, I'm like extremely focused, even that short time. You know, I'm like so much more productive then. Is this boring to you?
I don't kind of agree with that.
I totally agree with that.
I don't agree with it because, like...
You get very distracted.
Distracted? The fuck?
During the day to stay focused on the one task because you have a lot of tasks in your head.
Yes.
But
what I'm trying to say is this: there is no such thing of, like, I'm going to live this 4-hour work week, the worst book that you've ever could, like, read. That thing has ruined people's lives.
What?
There's a book. This freaking one guy, I forget the name of it. Mention him down below. He literally went on Google and he typed in like most popular like search of like words, and like 4-hour work week came up as the biggest
4-hour
work
week. The entire week?
Yeah, 4-hour work week. Yes, came back as like the most popular search for something. So he's like, I'll write a book about it. So it's not like he had already this structure, and then he's like, this is a 4-hour. So he started with the title, and then he just filled in the book.
How was the book successful?
Yes. Hugely successful. But now what he put into fucking people's minds is that, hey, you can set all this stuff up, and all you have to do is just manage for 4 hours a day. Impossible. You talk to any of these successful entrepreneurs and successful business owners, they love what they do, but they work their butts off for this stuff. But they also,
like, what I'm saying is they're also, like, on average, they're not up till 1 a.m. Yes, there's those occasional days or weeks that they're hustling. But I'm saying the normal hours of every human waking up, their schedule's jam-packed. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be, like, every single day your entire life up until 1 a.m.
I'm not saying every single day of your entire life. It's not what I'm saying.
Can you hear the rain?
Yeah. It's just like, okay, I mean, for me, it's like, okay, we have the construction thing. That's one thing. But another, like, for social media stuff, people will DM me all the time asking me, like, hey, what do I do? How do I do this stuff? And I still believe, even now, it's like, for me, I don't post 5 times a day, because at this point I understand how to post, and I understand what type of video will do well, because I've done the reps. Okay? But if I was to tell anybody starting off right now, I'd say, like, post 3 to 4 times a day, so you can practice and see which videos work. This way, like, let's say if I tell you, you need to post 1,000 videos before you break through, and you say, like, okay, I'm going to post once a day, well, see you in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? But if I say you need to do 1,000 videos before you break through, or you need to post 1,000 posts on Instagram before you break through, and you do 3 posts a day, you can get there in a year. So that's the kind of the point of that, and then you learn it. But when I say that to people, they're like, "Oh shit! Well, that's a lot of work."
That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. So, like, with the whole social media thing, like, none of this is an accident. It's a the way I always say it, and people I don't think like when I say this, but you have to treat it as a job before it can become a job. You have to treat it as if it provides you income before it can actually provide your income. When we started with this stuff, for a solid year and a half, there was nothing.
More,
I mean, we've only been at it for like 2.5, 3 years. 2020 we started, and then, like, Instagram started
for
like
a solid
21.
year and a half, there's nothing.
Like, absolutely no income, no brand deals, no, like, free products.
No one reaching out, no free products,
or anything like that. So, but we were still. I was posting 4 to 5 times a day and trying to figure out, because I was enjoying it, and then, like, it turned into whatever, and it's just funny. Like, that's what I mean with that. But you don't have to do this. Like, you can, of course, just chill. You can watch Netflix. You can do all that stuff.
Work-life balance.
Yeah.
Some people are content with that.
But expectations, though, right? We talked about expectations. You can't be in expectations like, I want to become an influencer, but you're not putting in the work. And that's where, like, you'll go mad, and then you're going to just start commenting on people's pages and talking crap.
Seems like Misha has some underlining
expectations.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing in a work-life balance. Construction business, or like whatever anybody else.
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
This was a freaking rant.
Yeah, you do that.
Huh? I do that?
I should give you like a cue with my eyes or something, like they twitch to tell you to, like, shut your mouth.
Shut my mouth.
Like,
I feel passionate about this.
Time's up.
Should we use some comments?
What did we talk about last time? Coverings. People loved coverings.
We need to. What would be the emoji if you made it this far? It's like
tons of people put cakes. It was so cute.
I know.
And then people started putting their flavors. A lot of people did red velvet. Misha's favorite flavor is red velvet.
If I could have a mattress of cake, it'd be red velvet cake. Imagine though, you just roll over and you take a bite.
Sick.
We need okay. So if you have made it this far, thank you so much. We're about to get into some comments. This is the best part. Again, seeing the little cake, seeing all that stuff. Because literally anytime I see the cake, I'm like, you made it that far. Like, it's so cool. So this time, because we have a big announcement coming next week, I think what we should do is
No, do that for next time. After.
Well, the rocket would be for next time.
We already did a rocket.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shooting star. Shoot
Just
for the stars.
Okay, work-life balance. Is there like a balance thing?
I think there is a balance thing.
Is there?
There's a balance thing.
Okay, so there's got to be...
Take a risk.
What are those called? Scales? Scales. Type in caps. Okay, type in caps. Expectations equals balance.
What?
No?
Okay.
Catherine, we have to do this.
There's no balance or scale. I don't know.
No?
Something.
Just type in expectations equals balance.
Do you want me to read some comments? Most of the comments were cake. Love your story. Love that you guys are working as a team.
Yeah, I like the emoji thing, and now I'm
so
getting
then
rid of it.
Find a scale.
Type in a rock. A rock. It's heavy. A rock. Just a rock emoji. Rock. That's it. Final submit it. I'm submitting again. And a rock emoji. And I don't know why, but I feel like your weight rocks. So on balance.
You guys are awesome. I love watching you both. Very good review. What type of software do you use for shower designs? SketchUp Pro.
SketchUp.
Some people asking you questions. Now I want cake. Ended up getting the Cancer Society show tour as well. Remember that?
That was
Some people talked about your OnlyFans. That was fun.
We'll bring that back around.
Will we?
All right. The emoji is a rock. And again, thank you guys so much for getting... If you're
we promise next one will be more exciting because there's going to be tons of stuff done to this basement.
Remember, expectations equals work-life balance.
And I'm trying to be honest with myself. We're going to
share this
stuff out.
Also, comment down below and share this with somebody else who needs to see this. Maybe
needs some honesty in their life.
You know, like share this with your significant other that maybe needs to see this as well.
Lower their expectations.
Contractors are stressed.
Yeah.
If you talk to a lot of contractors, they're very stressed.
I believe
this is a stressful job because you're in people's houses. You're
a lot of times you're working by yourself.
Yeah, and then the money thing there's no paycheck.
It's a roller coaster.
You are rich one day, you're poor in 2 weeks.
Yep.
You're rich one day, you're poor in 2 weeks because you just get these nice checks, and then you got to spend them all.
You got bills and
And then, let's say a homeowner's like, hey, can I get it to you next week? That sucks.
That's a different conversation.
Should we talk about that? How to get payments from people and stuff like that?
No, I don't like that conversation.
No?
No, I can get into
Will we get
Igor
involved?
Get some.
All right, my uncle Igor is going to come over here and
Misha's going to go to bed because it's late, and we have a big week ahead of us.
Big week. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you watching this. Please comment, like. People say that shit.
Comment, share, subscribe.
I mean, if you're going to do it, do it.
Thanks, Appy, for joining us.
Hey, good job. You did a good job on this one.
Thanks. You do too.
You're getting better.
I like the red.
I am matching like a freaking high school girl.
Yeah,
I got the red wristband on this. I got this. I got
and
my
you got red on
chili
your shoes.
And this. And on my shoes. Oh, my God. All right, peace out.